Toronto Unfiltered was live today at the ONIP protest in downtown Toronto at 400 University Avenue, covering what the workers are protesting about. There was a steady crowd holding up their signs, plenty of conversations, and a lot of people sharing why they came out. Here's a quick look at what they're asking for, what their concerns are, and what the atmosphere was like on the ground.
So my name is Abhijit Singh. I'm from Brampton.
And it looks like we have a large amount of people supporting here. Can you maybe just give us an explanation of why you're here and what's the cause?
So right now we are here gathered to show us that we are the victims. We are not the fraud guys or the misrepresentative guys. We are actually victims. We are the skilled trade workers who supported Ontario actually to build Ontario, to help them in the economy. And we are the ones who helped the government during the COVID-19 even. But right now the government did unfairness with us. Our files are returned after being waited for like almost 2 years. We get the answer that we are changing the system and right now we're gonna return everything. But what about our work permits? What about our wait time? What about our stress right now we are having? Our lives are in danger, to be honest. We have nothing left. You guys promoted, you guys said we need skilled workers. Even the federal policy said we need skilled workers. We don't need just the labor, we need skilled workers. So we adopted that skills. We are line technicians, we are painters. Some of them work in the Rogers, some work in Bell. We are work in a high-ranking companies, but you said we are frauds. So this is the actually situation. These all are people who come in front of the camera, who are right now is -6 and holding the banners, trying to get their rights actually. They want the answers. We are not opposing anyone. We just want a fair decisions on our answers that we are waiting for, because it's just not the file numbers or nothing. These are our lives actually. We invested 6 years. I know many people gonna say that it's not guaranteed to stay here. We all understand that thing. But if your policies, we work under your policies, we follow each and every step, then it's our right to ask the questions. If we invested our time, if we invested everything here, then it's our right to ask questions. So we are asking our questions. Where is the fairness in this thing? There may be fraud guys. We don't know. It's your duty. But what about the innocent guys? Why we have to pay everything for their fault? So please be nice with us. Please be fair with us and give us the right decisions. Thanks.
And the majority of people here have legitimate jobs, right? And they're looking to stay in the country.
Yes.
Right? Has the government have they come back and said anything to you directly yet?
So we try to knock every door, whatever resources we have. We started this actually in July when our work permits are expiring. We went to every door. We went to MPPs. We even email MPs. When we email MPs, they said it's provisional policies. Then we email MPPs. They said, oh, we're gonna work. But after some times, they just ignore our emails. They're not gonna answer our emails. Then we got some support from other people. We raised our voices. Then they bring a new law. And they said they give the authority to the officers to return our files. And right now, we can say we are in limbo. We have nobody to hold our hand.
When we talk to the workers here, they're saying that they're not getting any response. Yeah. Is there a reason why?
So I'm not part of the ministry. I'm with the Ontario NDP. I'm the Shadow Minister for Labour, so I'm coming down to hear the worker side of the story because it appears that Mr. Piccini is not listening. It doesn't make sense. Our office too, we got replies last spring basically saying stop bugging us, we're working on this. I'm shorthanding it. But basically when we had questions about the ONIP program, they would reply to us and say, stop asking questions, we're working on this, and more or less radio silence until the announcement that they made on Friday saying that they're canceling all of them because of fraud. But there's no details of what types of fraud, where the fraud is, what the concerns are. And like I said before,
just to add a thing,
one of the reasons that I think they brought it out on a Friday afternoon is because the media isn't really paying attention. Most of the story deadlines have been hit already. They're hoping over the weekend people won't remember. So I'm very proud of everyone coming here to gather outside the Ministry of Labour office. to have their voices heard, but it has to be amplified.
Right.
You have to keep working at this and make it difficult for them to just pass this off and sort of wait out the clock until your work permits expire,
And
because the Ford government is failing you.
One thing to add, if I am labeled fraud, I worked for Rogers. You tell me, if is Rogers a fraud company? I will love to announce the CEO, like he makes a notice that we are a fraud company from this day, from Friday. That makes no sense.
What kind of work do you do?
I was a telecommunication technician.
Okay.
I used to work in this area.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to run lines, install internet, provide TV service,
Yeah.
did everything what this job needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Bell people are here. So how come the Bell companies?
I think the first thing really is to understand what's happening here. You got to get beyond the rhetoric that the Conservative government is saying about these workers. These are valuable workers that are in need, that employers need to fulfill specific roles. If you think of the Rogers employee, if you're waiting for Rogers to bring in your home phone, your TV, your internet, and there's a longer delay, it's because there's going to be a shortage of worker after these valuable workers are taken away. So once you're informed, you've got to amplify this, and you've got to connect with your MPPs. They're easy to find. You just type in MPP in the city you live in and they'll tell you who it is, and let them know that you're against this decision, right? Let them know how it's affecting you and that you think it's unfair.
We went to MPPs, but they just said, don't come to us. That's what the response is.
Okay.
Don't come to us.
Those are probably conservatives.
So we know here, when we came here, the best mean of communication is doing an email to your representative.
Right.
And we did that. We
Okay.
called their offices, we went there even. We did
Okay.
emails, like I did almost like 6-7 emails to my MPP.
Yeah.
And there's no response. So what kind of MPP is that one? You are representing
There is no service from MPP.
Yep.
you are
You
representing
want to hearing back from your
Nope.
MPPs? Okay.
No.
They are not providing any service. They are saying sorry.
We
can't
cannot
do
help
anything
you.
in
Do not
this.
come here.
I have mails. They are saying they can't do anything. And when we raised the web forms to OINP that why they are taking so long, they said that they need additional time in this, and if they want any document, they will contact us.
It's
But
the
in
same
last,
copy-paste message every
but
time to
in
all
last
the...
1.5 years, they didn't never contacted us.
Yeah.
And after when they didn't contact us, and they sent us this return file. They returned our file. There is no way to return the file like this by saying that they can't find the fraud system in their
own
processing time.
in their own stream.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a small thing. So when they reply to the emails, you can see the inconsideration. Like they don't even write the name. Like they just write hello,
just a
comma,
cut and paste.
and then copy and paste.
Copy-paste.
Even I have a friend. He applied to some other stream.
Yeah.
He got approved. After 10 days, he got the same message. We will work on your file.
Yeah. So
Make sense?
Yeah.
Makes more of
Some
sense.
people
We don't
apply
even
for
know.
freedom of information, that what's going on with our file.
Yeah.
And in the freedom of information, it mentions that the
I have it
file
right
got
now.
approved, file got approved and then returned.
Yep.
So the director didn't sign the approval.
Right.
That's
I have mine
basically-
right now even.
Okay.
My file was approved 1 month and 3 days after, but they kept me hold for 1 year and then they returned it.
Yeah. None of this makes sense.
Yesterday we mailed Susan North. They replied today that you can try any other stream.
Right.
But there is no time to try for any other stream. The work permits are almost finished.
expired.
Right.
Most of us
we
have
used our work
expired work
permit for
permits.
1 year to complete the experience to meet the eligibility criteria, and they used the rest of the 2 years of work permit. They used our work permit. We didn't use our work permit.
They exploited us. They exploited
used our
us.
work permit.
They exploited us.
So basically, that's a government way of saying that we don't want to do our jobs. Like they don't want to do their jobs. So
Even-
basically, all are fraud.
I will
They are
make
running
it
from
more
their own
simple.
duties. They are
I'll
running
make
from
it
their
more
own
simple
duties.
for all of us. Look, if they want us to leave, just give us that diligence that if we go outside of Canada, if we leave permanently, and if someone asks you how was your experience, we can say it with respect. We don't want any disrespect for this country because we came here, we earned a lot, we made a lot, and this country gave us a lot. But give us some words to say that we belong to Canada and we were there. Give us that limitations that we respect this country if we leave.
We respect
Don't-
Canada. We respect
we respect
Canadian
Canadian
values. We
values.
respect Canadian values.
But you should be treated fairly.
Yeah.
Right? You
That's
should
one
be.
of the another Canadian value, right? To be treated fairly.
We also want Canadians to jump into this matter and see where their funding money, where their trade, where their tax money, where their hardworking earned money is going. We want it because $133 million as fee were collected,
Yep.
and now we are in limbo.
What's the amount again?
$133 million and plus the skill trade development fund.
Okay.
which minister is being raised a question mark.
Okay.
So will you trust a person whose identity is being questioned if he conducts an investigation? I won't. Will you trust a thief if he says I am a thief? I won't.
I think like we cannot blame whole party. Like they all are thief.
We-
They all are fraud. If one person is fraud,
Yeah.
so they cannot blame all of us.
Even
You
we know
investigate.
everything has two sides, right?
Yeah.
So we accept it, but it doesn't mean everyone is the same.
Yeah.
And it's not that we are fraud. We got exploited as well. We were waiting. We were genuinely waiting. We tried each and every door, but this is the option they left us with. So even they collected like $133 million in fees, which has no record. So even if they have like 250 employees working, they were taking their salaries, but how couldn't they identify this? So where is the legitimate work, right? So we demand fairness. We just want, even if they introduced a method that we will email you for an in-person interview to satisfy our officers, but they took like 100 or 50 guys, but then they stopped it. So like I worked for Rogers, right? I worked for Rogers. These you can't buy on stores, right? So how come, when did Rogers became a fraud company? Give us an answer. Invite us, we'll satisfy you with our answer.
So even we want to ask the CEO of these companies, Rogers, Bell, Farmwise, Mr. Lube, and other American companies where these guys work. We are asking them, are you guys fraud too? Because government are tagging us as a fraud or misrepresentative. Are you guys are part of this fraud thing? If you are not, then it's your right to stand with us, because we are not. Before we are a worker, we are a hard-working employees, but right now we are victims. So stand with us because we helped you.
We want Ontarians, Canadians, every people to know what actually happened and what the situation is. We want to stand them because we all, as the part of Ontario, even temporary workers, permanent residents, citizens, we all paid taxes with our hard-earned money. So we should know where that money is going. So it's our all right. It's not just us. It's not a life. It's not a file number. It's actually a life that is standing here.
So you can see there's one guy standing there.
Standing with their family.
So it's just like four people. 4 lives matters in just one file. So we have to see all these things. We have to take all these things in mind, and we want government to think again and help us.
After hearing these workers speak, do you believe the system failed them, or was the government justified in its decision? Should innocent applicants be held responsible for the actions of a few fraudsters? And ultimately, what does fairness look like in a system that holds people's entire lives in its hands? Remember, Canadians come here to see what's happening on the streets of their country and to voice their concerns, so don't be shy. Let us know how you feel. Should these workers be allowed to stay in Canada? Drop your comments below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Toronto Unfiltered for more real stories, on-the-ground coverage, and unfiltered voices from across the country.
Toronto Unfiltered, where the streets got a story and the people got soul.